Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back for another Walking Dead video for the ones who live. In this video, I'm going to do kind of a breakdown or more exploring into the possibility of Morgan showing up some point in this series, whether it be through a voiceover cameo or full-on on-screen cameo. I wanted to kind of dive into a couple more clues that were laid down for us, kind of pointing in this direction. So this is kind of a part 2 to another video that I did that I'll leave a link to above. But I really think that they're going to bring in Morgan because there has been a confirmed cameo of The Walking Dead from, another character, nobody that we have right now. But just with the clues that we have seen in the previous video about the Art of Peace book that showed up and just kind of referring back to Morgan. And in this one, I feel like we had a couple more clues. And the first one I wanted to talk about was the walkie-talkie. Now, we know the walkie-talkie Michonne has had with her since the beginning. This was always a way to keep in contact with Alexandria through daily check-ins with Judith to let her know that she's okay, that she's still on her mission to find Rick and bring him home to her. And so with this one, it was really kind of on the forefront. Being in Michonne's perspective, this side of the story, we really see her doing this, checking in, reaching out, trying to get a response over this walkie-talkie. Now, we know the range on these things, I have no idea what they are, but they seem to be pretty endless as far as crossing state lines and whatnot when there's no modern or existing radio towers that are still functioning, but I'm not sure how these operate 100%. But being that she is reaching out on a regular basis, you got to think that she's still getting pretty good range on these things, and the battery life alone, too, that's just something that's kind of inexplicable. But with this episode, it's just with how it was mentioned more than once about using this radio to reach back home. One in particular scene that I wanted to talk about was after Michonne and Nat lose the rest of their group when they are bombed with that chlorine gas. They are around this fire, and Michonne's she's really on the brink of giving up, and she can't bring herself to continue on after losing these people that over a course of a short time became meaningful to her. They come to mean something to her, and with the reveal that the woman, I can't remember her name, it's going to be really terrible for me, but she revealed that she was pregnant with her boyfriend's kid, and she ends up dying from being poisoned, and her lungs and whatnot being burned from this gas, and she ends up having to put her down. But Michonne's in this hopeless place now where she's lost this group. She's just really lost hope after arriving to this boat area, this port, where she's finding all of these bodies that have since been burnt to a crisp. There's no recognition. And being that she got the indication that the boat that she found Rick's possessions on came from this area, she was hoping to find him or some clue to where he was at. So she's in this hopeless area, and Nat kind of, appeals to her as a mother that you need to radio home. You need to let them know you're coming. And just the way they were pushing the radio, it just, to me anyways, this could be me just running away with the idea of it. I really think we're going to hear Morgan over that radio. And after Rick is found and they reunite and Rick tells her that you need to gather up anything that points back home and you need to get rid of it, I don't know. I'm not sure if they went on to actually destroy the radio or they just kind of tossed it off somewhere. But I have this sneaking suspicion that we're going to hear Morgan's voice over that radio, like maybe at the very tail end of an episode or in the middle of one, kind of alluding to him possibly showing up. But I just feel like they're going in that direction with this radio, that at some point, like I said, in the closing minutes of an episode, we're going to hear Morgan's voice come over it and be just kind of broken up, relaying his normal message that this is Morgan Jones. He's looking for Rick Grimes, and I will turn this radio every day on at dawn, and I'll leave it on for a few minutes after. And I feel like we could hear that broken parts of that message come through the radio if it does happen to still be intact. And maybe at some point they have this radio. If they left it intact and Michonne and Rick are actually successful within this episode or the next one, getting out and going back to pick up these things, that this is maybe one of the first messages they hear. And then at some point Morgan shows up to help them get away. That's just my imagination running away with it, but also kind of to further point in Morgan's direction, when Michonne is picked up by the CRM, when they're interviewing her and they ask her, what's your weapon of choice? And she says, bow staff. Well, we all know that points directly at Morgan. That was his weapon of choice. He didn't care for guns anymore after everything that he went through to find himself, and after Eastman really brought him back from the brink and he accidentally gets Eastman killed. He's he has this belief system that all life is precious. So that just became his weapon of choice after he was trained with it by Eastman and whatnot. So for Michonne to pick that weapon out of all the weapons that she has used across the end of the world and the things that she's had to do to survive, to pick a bow staff, it's just like they're trying to really nudge us in that direction, that the person that we're going to see that's going to be the crossover cameo, it's going to be Morgan. That's just me kind of basing my clues and really coming to my own conclusions, but just I have seen other videos out there where people kind of suspect the same thing, and I just think that would make the most sense aside from Daryl or anybody else showing up. But I really think they're building up these characters or building up this story to possibly send them off into another crossover or send them off into one of our other series to continue on these characters without having to do another season of this show. That's all up in the air for speculation. I don't know what their plans are, but I hope they have something in place that they're going to give everyone the reunion that we all want to see. But as far as Morgan being the one that we're going to see, I really believe that's the direction they're going to go with the clues that they've been laying down in just the first 2 episodes, and I imagine we'll probably continue to see those clues until Morgan shows up, unless they're going to throw us a curveball and then fucking Negan or somebody shows up. That would just be mind-blowing on itself. But anyways, that's just a quick little theory video I wanted to do with you guys. If you have any similar views or any similar theories or just general thoughts about who we could possibly see, please leave your comments down below. Leave a like for the video. And as always, if you feel so inclined, subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. Help me make that push to 1,000 subscribers this year. It would mean the world to me. So until next time, guys, take care. Bye.